If you are in perimenopause or menopause and are experiencing anything like anxiety or panic attacks, then today I am going to teach you a 4-step plan that can help you to feel better. I know firsthand about panic attacks and menopause because I experienced them myself. And I've also worked with clients over the last 5 years in my sophrology practice with women in their middle years, either in perimenopause or menopause, also experiencing signs of anxiety, stress, and sometimes panic attacks. A few years ago, I was in my last job and there was a merger and we had a new director. My job doubled overnight. I felt like I was swimming, more like drowning in new stuff that I needed to do. And in fact, my job felt so big that I felt like I couldn't even see it all. I didn't even know everything that I needed to do. And then one day at a staff meeting, I had my first ever panic attack. I was embarrassed, to say the least. All of my colleagues were there around the table watching me have a panic attack. And a couple of them took me aside and helped me through it a little bit. But that was really an alarm bell for me because at the time I felt like I wasn't particularly anxious or stressed out. So I knew that something was going on and I needed to take a closer look at my wellness. And so I put a couple of things into place to help me through that. And that's what we're going to be getting through in the plan today. Quitting wasn't really a possibility at that time, so I knew that I needed to look at the things in my control so that I could learn to cope and even thrive in this situation. And at the time, I hadn't actually put 2 and 2 together to think about menopause and the panic attacks. But I now know that menopause is a time when more anxiety can come into play because there's fluctuations in the hormones. You have your estrogen and your progesterone fluctuating, diminishing, and as they do so, that can have an effect on cortisol levels, on your serotonin, your dopamine, all of the things that can help affect your mood. And so it's no surprise that panic attacks can come as a result. So if any of this is feeling relevant to you, then stick around because we're going to be going through a 4-step process, a plan that you can put in place in order to feel better. Step 1 is assessing the situation and being honest with yourself, but also being super compassionate. I want you to be so kind to yourself as you are recognizing what's going on. So as much as you can, you want to focus on your own wellness, and this will help you in turn to support others. You don't need to be embarrassed or feel guilty about the way you're feeling. It's okay to not feel okay. I want you to know that. And just for now, I invite you to put your needs first, and your body responds to kindness. So be super kind to yourself. So this assessment, you're going to look at the issues that are contributing to your stress at the moment. And you might write a whole list down, and I want you to rate each issue on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being you're not very stressed out about it, 5 being super duper stressed about it. And be honest with all of the issues that you're currently dealing with. Step 2, you're going to look at all of the things in your control. So we're looking at sort of body, mind, and spirit here. So starting with the body, looking at your food choices. There are things that can naturally make us feel more anxious. I'm thinking about like caffeine, sugar, processed foods. Those things can interfere with your well-being. And so maybe there's some things that you can cut back on. And before we get into all of these different steps, I want to underline the fact that this is not something that you need to do for the rest of your life. You may end up doing that, but I'm just asking you to do this for maybe a day or 2 or a week. So what are the foods that you might want to stay away from for a day or 2 or a week? And what are the foods that you know deep down inside of you give you energy and make you feel stable? There might be some foods that just you feel good when you eat them, and you know that you feel good when you eat them. So concentrate on those foods and maybe try and stay away from the things that might boost up the anxiety from time to time. The next thing that you can look at is water and how much water you are drinking. Water is essential for all of your bodily functions, and so the more you can drink, the better. Of course, there are limits to that, but within reason, if you can drink an extra liter or two of water a day, then that would be great. So maybe there's something that you can do. Put a bottle of water in your bag with you, have a pitcher or a bottle of water on your desk so that you're remembering to drink. Have reminders so that you're drinking throughout the day so that you're not always running to the bathroom. But just make sure that you're getting enough to drink. Quite often, I think we forget that we need to drink water on a regular basis. Another thing that you can look at is your movement. I'm not asking you to go to the gym. I'm not asking you to work out 7 days a week. I'm wondering if there's something that you can do for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in the morning, maybe not even every day, but just for over the course of a week, maybe there's something you can put into place. Back when I was having my panic attacks, I decided that I was going to give myself 40 minutes in the morning. I was going to set the alarm 40 minutes earlier, which felt a little difficult, but I knew it was for the good cause. And I went out for a walk, and then I did 10 minutes of yoga. And that was my morning routine that helped me feel, first of all, move my body, and it helped me feel more calm as I started my day. Movement is known to be a way that we can get rid of tension. So you're also getting the blood circulating and you are able to just put the body in motion. And so think about what movement you might like to put into place for a day or for the coming week. The next thing is, how much sleep are you getting? And be honest with yourself. How much sleep are you getting and how much sleep would you like to have? In my case, I know that I like to have 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So that means I need to get to bed early in order to get those hours in. And that's not always the time I feel like going to bed, to be honest with you. And I can easily get caught up watching films or YouTube, or I don't scroll so much on my phone, but I know that that's a thing for other people. Being honest with yourself and just making a conscious effort to get to bed just that little bit earlier so that you can give yourself optimal sleep. Because when you actually get enough sleep, you naturally want to get out of bed and get on with your day, which if I don't get enough sleep, then I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. And then the whole day just feels like a bit of a slog. Another couple of things that you can think about are working in some meditation, some mindfulness, some breathing, just things to give yourself a moment of calm. And you can do this on your own. You can also listen to guided visualizations. I have a playlist that I can put up here. I also have a channel on Insight Timer, and that's a great place. Lots of free meditations there. Some of them are super short, 5 to 10 minutes. And there's also guided breathing on there. It's a wonderful resource to just give yourself a moment of calm in your day. When you do give yourself that moment of calm, your body is able to restore and reset. Your hormones are getting balanced out as well because you're not in that heightened state of stress. So just give yourself a moment of calm. And then the other thing that I want to encourage you to do is some things that are simply self-care. And it can be something super simple, like maybe you want to take a bath, light a candle, listen to some relaxing music, listen to an inspiring audiobook. Maybe you want to doodle. Maybe you want to get out your finger paints or do some pottery. Whatever it is, doing something creative and giving yourself the time to do that activity. And lastly, I would really encourage you to be open to the idea of seeking outside help, outside support. That can be in the form of a therapist. In my case, it was in the form of a sophrologist, which is a stress reduction technique very popular here in France. I saw my sophrologist for 5 or 6 times over the course of 2 months, and that really gave me all the tools and the the perspective I needed to move forward and feel much better and no longer experience panic attacks. You may also want to talk to your doctor. You might want to talk to your gynecologist and discuss hormone replacement therapy. I mean, there are many things that you can put into place. I leave that up to you, in your hands, and up to your intuition, your own inner wisdom. I think that that's really important to follow. Don't be closed off to the idea of seeking outside help. Step 3, that was a long step too. Step 3 is putting this into place. So you're going to look at your list of things that you want to put into place. You don't have to choose everything from each category. You might decide which ones speak to you the most. You might have an inkling as to what might feel the best. And you are going to set yourself a period of time. Once again, you could be for a day, a couple of days. Maybe you give yourself a week and you stick to it. You've made a plan that is attainable, reasonable, doable, and so you do it and you stick to it for the set number of days. And then you get to step 4. And that is where you check in with yourself and you reevaluate the situation. You ask yourself, what's been working? What's been changing? You might want to go back to that list of issues that you did back in step 1 and reevaluate on the scale of 1 to 5 how you're feeling about them. Maybe things have started improving for yourself. If so, that is wonderful. And if not, be patient with yourself and give yourself lots of love, no judgment, lots of self-compassion, and continue on. Maybe you'll do this plan for another week, at which time you will once again reassess and check in. And once again, be kind to yourself and be honest with yourself and know that it's okay. Wherever you're at, it may not, change overnight, but it will change with time. And all of this conscious attention that you are giving to these wellness techniques or things that you're putting into place for your wellness, they will pay off. So that's it. Those are the 4 steps. If you would like to do this on your own, I will link a PDF that you can type into in the description down below. I invite you to go through this process and share your experience in the comments below. And if you would like to hear more about my own menopause experience and how I dealt with some of the issues that came up, the things that worked for me, I'll put a link up here. And if you would like to give yourself the gift of a calming body scan, I'll put that up here. And you can go to that right now and just close your eyes and go through the process and feel much better afterwards. So that's it for today. I thank you for your time and your presence. And I encourage you to really be kind to yourself because your body responds to kindness. See you next time.